Established local elections are important because it's how we determine what's important to us. The direction of the school board or the city council, what we're willing to fund when it comes to public safety, infrastructure, or schools. This election cycle across the state of Idaho, voters are being asked to consider more than $159 million in some sort of school-related bond or levy to subsidize what is or what isn't coming out of the State House. From a 20-year, $26 million bond in Gooding to the $67,000 supplemental levy in the Three Creek School District. Never heard of the Three Creek School District? Well, neither had we, until we went there and found it in the shadow of Nevada's Jarbidge Mountains. What else we found? Well, they have just 72 people living within their district. That's like 20 times the number of cows to people in that area. And we also learned it isn't about persuading people to increase their property taxes when it comes to levies, but about increasing the chances they can continue living as cattle ranchers. The first thing you notice about Three Creek is what it takes to get there. About an hour, 15-minute drive southwest of Twin Falls, most of it along an unmarked two-lane road, you'll find...
All right, Three Creek Mustangs.
Three Creek Elementary School.
We're going to get started.
A 3-room building among a 4-building compound, and the only such grouping for miles.
Let's start at the top.
It's a drive Shannon Alt
What input
made many times visiting her dad in Nevada.
Oh, yes, hundreds of times probably.
She knew what it was. The why it was here, well, that was more elusive.
I wondered why it was still open. I couldn't figure out, like, where are they finding the kids?
The output columns.
That answer she found for herself when the last teacher retired 5 years ago.
So it's half 84.
And Shannon took the Three Creek teaching job.
Half.
It was up to her to recruit them.
Oh, how did you figure out 39?
She quickly found 3.
And then word spread and people moved in and kids got a little older and now we're up to 5.
Moment.
So why would a teacher with 22 years experience in a Twin Falls school of 400 students
Did we multiply by 3?
suddenly want to be out here, the lone teacher in a school of 5?
I thought this would be a challenge. I thought it would be a big challenge, and it is. And I love it. I love a challenge.
But that's not the only reason.
It's a cross between teaching and kind of mothering, to be honest with you. That's the one.
Some of that mom stuff,
Are you
well,
guys ready?
that's marked on the walls. That makes it kind of feel like family.
It is family. They used to write it on the doors. We ran out of room.
What does this say?
The job comes with a teacher's aide,
Do they grow thick hair?
a salary, and a place for Shannon to live just steps away from the school. It's quite a different commute than her students, a couple of whom cross state lines to get here.
It's 40 miles every day for her parents. But they put the effort in and they're here every day on time. It's amazing. Write an algebraic expression.
That brings us back to the question of why.
This is the only school. And when you're driving your child 20 miles just to school every day, you can see the importance of keeping this open, as we just don't have any other options.
Oh, there are other options, like relocating, but that would be devastating to the only industry in Three Creek. Cattle. Do you go on vacation?
I do, yeah.
An industry that is more like a lifestyle, handed down from a long line of ranchers.
I'm 5th generation, my kids are 6th. My great-great-grandfather squatted over in this at this spring, and so it was 1886 when he moved to Idaho Territory from Colorado.
For Gus Brackett and his Flat Creek ranch hands, it's a year-round gig with little time off.
One of the unique places in America where you have summer range and winter range without putting them on a truck.
But commitment,
We're stubborn.
is the reality of raising cattle.
As long as people keep eating beef, we'll keep ranching out here, so.
Out here, ranching isn't the only thing that goes back to Gus's great-great-grandfather.
He was actually on the first school board in Three Creek.
And Gus has continued that tradition for the last 18. One of the reasons Three Creek School has survived nearly a century and a half.
If we want the school, we have to support it. And if you don't have the ability to have school, then you have to move to town or you have to move somewhere to get your children educated.
Because selling eggs only gets you so far, Three Creek is running a 2-year, $67,000 supplemental levy this election day. It would increase their $100,000 annual budget by about a third. The plan is to upgrade the HVAC system and pay for an additional paraprofessional.
And so it may seem silly to have 2 professionals at the school for 5 students, but they're out on an island out here.
If the input number
Gus says the levy is about safety, and he isn't concerned with convincing the area's 18 registered voters to approve the increase in property tax. Again, they're committed.
We've never had a close levy. It's every time we've put a levy, a bond, anything like that out, it usually passes unanimously.
Because out here, Gus says, you have to consider what's over the horizon, not just what's right in front of you.
At this point, it's not even for my kids, it would be for my grandkids that I don't have yet.
13.
It's a sentiment shared inside Three Creek's 3-room schoolhouse.
we do have our own little culture here, and it's important to keep our culture alive. It's important to keep these kids on the ranch and have them learn the ways of life out here. And we need to balance that with a good education.
And like anything else out here,
Yeah, absolutely.
you just have to work for it.
If it was easy, everybody'd live out here.
Unfortunately, Three Creek School only teaches through 8th grade. For high school, those kids have to transfer either to Twin Falls or to Castleford, which is a minimum 1 hour and 15-minute commute one way. We mentioned the 72 people living within the district boundaries. Only 18 are registered to vote. That'd be 11 in Owyhee County and 7 in Twin Falls County. And not all of their levies have been unanimous, as Gus said. Back in 2023, it did pass with a vote of 13-3. One other number to illustrate how small Three Creek School District is. Their budget is about $100,000 a year. Meanwhile, West Ada, the school's largest school district and who has 2 trustees up for vote on tomorrow's ballot, they have an annual budget of nearly $731 million.